Hi, I'm Will Huber, CTO at CDI, and I'd like to welcome you virtually to our first ever CDI Security Summit. I'm really excited about the lineup of programming that we have to share with you this afternoon. You will hear how CDI, together with our partners, can help you to protect your organization's assets and reputation as you embark on your digital transformation journey. Before we get started, I would like to invite you to submit any questions that you might have in the chat area, where we have CDI security experts standing by to answer these questions throughout our online virtual event today. I'd also like to take a moment and thank our sponsoring partners for making today's summit possible. In between sessions, be sure to visit their booths in the virtual expo hall and to check out their offerings and engage with their employees. In 2021, security is top of mind for us all. This is evidenced by the demographic of the attendees of today's event. Joining us today are over 500 people from 3 countries and 34 states. We have executives, directors, managers, and technical engineers from Fortune 100 companies, startups, and just about everything in between. These companies represent nearly all industries from financial services, healthcare, legal, life sciences, manufacturing, media and entertainment, retail, and the public sector. From everyone at CDI, I want to extend a heartfelt thank you for choosing to spend your valuable time with us today. Business and technology strategy have never been more crucial to align. Most businesses have transformation initiatives aimed at launching an updated customer experience around products and services that are delivered and enabled with digital technology. Mature businesses are threatened by newcomers that challenge traditional business models, and therefore they must innovate quickly to avoid losing market share or being completely disrupted. CDI helps its customers realize the massive potential of digital transformation by first implementing a secure digital infrastructure foundation. The digital foundation begins with the hybrid multi-cloud. This includes infrastructure that can support traditional workloads, like yet-to-be refactored monolithic applications that depend on physical or virtual servers, as well as microservice applications that depend on things like containers, cloud platforms, and serverless frameworks. We recognize that it is imperative that our clients can continue supporting applications that are in place today, while also enabling innovation and the modern workloads of the future. Infrastructure on its own is great, but fundamentally it exists to support applications, which means that we need to make sure that the infrastructure can be easily consumed and operationalized by those who need it. CDI helps to enable this operationalization and this consumption by implementing capabilities and supporting pillars that are held up by the foundation. We help our customers to mature DevOps practices so that they can incrementally build and lifecycle infrastructure services via programmatic API calls and thoughtful automation, similar to how application teams deploy their application code with CI/CD pipelines. We advise our customers to look for opportunities to shift security left in the software development lifecycle and encourage all staff to be increasingly aware of security policies and common threat vectors that need to be defended against. Next, we implement intelligent AI-driven operations to help customers manage what in today's world inevitably amounts to more infrastructure and more applications in more places. Clients today find themselves with infrastructure and apps in private data centers, co-location facilities, cloud providers, with SaaS providers, and at the edge. Operationally, this presents significant challenges that can't be solved with just people alone. Third, we help customers to digitize all aspects of business with powerful workflows that eliminate handoffs, queuing times, and provide a consumer-like experience that's delivered with self-service portals and mobile applications. Cybersecurity workflow response is evolving quickly as well. New technology platforms need to be integrated into the investigation process, and third-party outsourced providers are playing larger roles in most enterprises to help uncover and remediate breaches. Fourth, we help customers to incorporate digital workspace technology that enables work from anywhere, and while doing so, to remain just as connected and just as productive as in the traditional workplace. Lastly, and most importantly for this audience, we believe that security and automation must be baked into absolutely everything. We must secure our infrastructure, our pipelines, our operations, our workflows, and our endpoints. The goal is not just to be more resilient and more aware of threats, but also to automate remediation as the number of attacks continually increase in number and sophistication. Together, these capabilities make up the foundation that will move your business forward in the digital world. One of the biggest challenges with securing the digital foundation is that organizations have a finite budget to compete against an infinite number of attackers. This challenge is similar to those faced by Major League Baseball's Oakland Athletics baseball team, as told in the popular book and movie both titled Moneyball. Moneyball is an account of the 2002 athletics season and their general manager, Billy Beane's attempts to assemble a competitive team despite having less than 25% of competing teams' budget for payroll. The Moneyball story and Billy Beane's strategy was based on something called sabermetrics, a term and approach coined by baseball statistician Bill James, which describes how Major League Baseball teams evaluate players using an evidence-based approach so that they can make data-driven decisions derived from empirical analysis of in-game performance. In the movie, Peter Brand, who is a fictional character based on Billy Beane's right-hand man, played by Jonah Hill, says that people are overlooked for a variety of biased reasons and perceived flaws: age, appearance, personality. Bill James and mathematics cuts straight through that. Billy, of the 20,000 notable players for us to consider, I believe there's a championship team of 25 people that we can afford because everyone else in baseball undervalues them, like an island of misfit toys. I think this sums up what we are trying to accomplish around building a set of security controls that you can win with, even if you don't have the New York Yankees payroll to rely on. Data, utilized effectively, is a game changer for security. It's like when Billy Beane says, "We are the card counters at the blackjack table, and we're going to turn the odds on the casino." In this example, the casino is our adversary or our attacker. They want us to lose. They want to harm our organization and steal our data. The blackjack game is our event protection. The cards in the deck are the tactics, the techniques, and the procedures, or simply stated, the attacks that are being used against us by the casino. The winning hands at the game are described to us in the MITRE attack framework, which is a comprehensive matrix of attacks that allow organizations to categorize attacks and to assess risk. So if we understand what most of the attacks look like, which are the cards in the deck, and we know what the winning hands look like, which are described to us in the MITRE matrix, then technically all we need to do is practice how we respond to the cards that are being dealt to us. So if we keep practicing playing the game over and over again until our strategy, in this case our security controls, gets to a point where we can always result in a winning hand. And if the deck has a wild card, well, then let's ensure that we can account for that wild card as fast as possible so there are minimal surprises. So you're probably asking yourself, how does one achieve this? The answer is found in leveraging the collective industry knowledge and experience with threats to safely simulate thousands of attacks against your security controls in a quick and automated fashion to gather evidence and data. With this data in hand, first, you can validate the effectiveness of the controls that you have in place. Second, you can measure the existing risk profile of your organization so that you can monitor any real-time impact to that risk profile. And third, you can help to optimize the controls that are in place or other controls that are being validated to ensure that the impact has quantifiable influence on your risk profile. CDI developed a lightweight, no-cost security assessment called the CDI Rapid Controls Assessment, or RCA for short. The RCA is a quick, easy, and safe way to conduct a technical control risk assessment and to understand your relative risk compared to your peers and to determine a baseline of risk acceptance that can be continually managed and monitored. CDI's RCA service makes it simple to measure and improve the security posture across a customer's existing controls for their email gateway, their web gateway, and their endpoints. Each assessment is scored and includes actionable remediation guidance to mitigate risk and optimize security control effectiveness. The RCA is a SaaS-based deployment executed over a 2-week period. CDI's RCA enables the customer to establish a baseline of their control effectiveness. It provides the evidence to the customer to make data-driven decisions for their security program resources. By mimicking the myriad of strategies and tools that attackers deploy, the RCA platform challenges customers' security controls with numerous simulated attacks. This comprehensive validation assesses the customer's true preparedness to handle cybersecurity threats effectively. RCA security scoring provides a measurement of this customer's security posture and effectiveness of the security controls. The scoring system enables you to track and improve your security posture in addition to rationalizing security spend and the allocation of resources. The score is calculated using industry-recognized standards, the NIST Risk Management Framework, CS/VSS version 3 calculator, Microsoft Dread, and the MITRE ATT&CK framework. CDI can complete an RCA assessment with as little as just a couple of hours of a client's time. The process begins with a short 30-minute introductory call with the client to review the program. Soon after, we work with the customer to deploy a single agent install on a target system in their environment. And CDI then validates that the agent can communicate securely with the SaaS platform. The CDI resource can then execute the assessment against the customer's email gateway, web gateway, and endpoint protection and/or endpoint detection and response platforms. This process takes approximately 2 to 3 days to complete. However, no involvement from the customer is required during this process. After 3 days, CDI will meet with the customer for 1 hour to provide its initial findings, including a review of the assessment reports, scores, and results. We will also discuss any required action items and share best practices based on our prior experiences with other clients. After this meeting, the customer may choose to make changes to their environment based on the RCA's findings, and the security control testing can then be rerun. A few days later, after the testing has been completed, a second 1-hour meeting is conducted to review the final results, as well as any additional recommendations, and an option to continue ongoing testing as a managed security service, something we call the Continuous Controls Assessment, or CCA. CDI has been running these rapid controls assessments for several months. We have deployed over 150 RCA assessments, resulting in over 100,000 individual attack simulations for CDI clients of all size and industry. Each outcome has positioned CDI to provide a very unique perspective to each customer regarding how well their security controls are optimized and what can be done to improve the outcomes. The biggest lessons learned from running these tests in our clients' environments are as follows. Number 1, there is a misunderstanding and a confusion around how certain controls work and where complementary controls are required to provide optimal security strength. Number 2, we see dramatic variances in outcomes for similar controls because of a lack of understanding and feedback regarding how to optimize the functionality within customer tools. And number 3, we see a strong data-based case for making investments in new and emerging security controls that will have a material impact on an organization's risk profile. More specifically, the data we collected determined that email gateways block 84% of malicious attachments, but web gateways only block 9% of the same. This validates why attackers continue to use phishing emails with links to direct users to web-based systems to deliver a malicious payload, because the likelihood of a web gateway stopping this attack is much lower. This also validates the importance of employee awareness training and why having SSL inspection and encryption is essential in your environment. Another data point gathered from our assessments is that just 6% of ransomware scenarios were completely blocked, 12% executed completely, and 82% partially. This validates that behavior-based endpoint controls allow attacks to complete before detection, and why tuning and configuring these controls for each unique environment is critical. The RCA and CCA are 2 examples of services that are part of a broader set of CDI security services portfolio offerings. CDI has invested significantly in a security portfolio of offerings that is aligned to the National Institute of Technology's cybersecurity framework. This alignment ensures that our investments in cybersecurity are supported by the cybersecurity professionals that we work with every day and by the security community at large. The 5 core CSF functions are identify, protect, detect, respond, and recover. Each function is composed of subcategories that map to our portfolio of partners and services. It is our responsibility to constantly evaluate our strengths and weaknesses to guarantee that we can provide our customers with the most comprehensive portfolio available across these 5 core functions. Some great examples of this are how we are helping clients to identify who has access to critical business information through our partnerships with companies like Varonis and Lacework, or how we're helping clients with complete incident response remediation and recovery with CDI Remediation as a Service and our partnership with Rubrik. We have also made significant investments in the area of detection with our most recent acquisition of Kintyre just last month. Kintyre's expertise and extensive hands-on experience assists our clients to design, architect, install, optimize, and maintain log management and SIEM solutions. To learn more about how CDI Security Solutions can help you turn the odds on the casino by implementing a data-driven, evidence-based approach to cybersecurity, reach out to a CDI employee or to one of our sponsoring partners in the virtual expo hall. Speaking of partners, the lineup for the rest of the afternoon features panel discussions and fireside chats featuring CDI security experts and the top experts from our vendor partners. We will cover topics ranging from getting the most out of your existing investments, ransomware, and securing the modern distributed workplace. And finally, at 4 p.m., we will hear from the Moneyball mastermind himself, Billy Beane, who is currently the Executive Vice President of Baseball Operations for the Oakland Athletics, as well as Daryl Morey, who is President of Basketball Operations for the Philadelphia 76ers. They will be joined by CDI's Chris Whidden for a Q&A session. I want to thank everyone again for attending the CDI Security Summit. We hope that you find today's content relevant and valuable. Please take this time between now and the top of the hour to visit some of our vendor sponsors in the expo hall. But be sure to come right back here to the main auditorium at 1 p.m. for our first panel, hosted by CDI's own Peter Brookman, AVP of Security Sales. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a great rest of the show.